Hello, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and welcome to the 39th episode of my second 1 Billion Iron Ingot Challenge. In today's episode, I'm going to work on a system to get me more cinnabar, and that's because I use cinnabar in my ore processing for aluminum and tin ore, and I am running a little bit low on it. I know this may be a lot to some people, but to me this is both these numbers are diminishing, so I need to do something about that. There's not a whole lot I can do as far as getting more cinnabar ore, but as far as getting more cinnabar, I can do something about that. Now, there are several ways that I am getting cinnabar natively right now. I am getting it from gold ore and from redstone ore from pulverizing it. But the thing is, we can increase these odds of getting cinnabar from those ores, as well as using some of this destabilized redstone ore, which I have a lot of. If we take a look right here, I have 1.2 million of that, so I can tap into that and get some cinnabar from that. So my plan today is to use my pulverizers that I already have, and I'm going to add some augments to them. Now, if I add the secondary sieve augment, which I have a bunch of them made up, to pulverizers, I can increase the chances that I get the secondary output of those operations. So if we look at the cinnabar, how we actually get it, it is always a secondary output. It is a secondary output of destabilized redstone ore, gold ore, and redstone ore. Now the thing is, it's usually in a small percentage. For the redstone ore, it's 25%. For the gold ore, it's only 10%. But for the destabilized redstone ore, which I have a lot of, it's 50%. The thing is, with those augments, I can increase those odds significantly. I think with 4 augments, it's something like 60%. And I don't think that's right. I shouldn't say that. I think it's like 1.83 or something like that times chance. So basically, I would have 80 or 90% chance of getting a cinnabar from a destabilized redstone ore, and then my chances would significantly increase for the redstone ore and the gold ore as well. So that's what I'm going to do. So I have a bunch of augments here. I have some filters, and I'm going to use that to my advantage. So first off, let me grab some destabilized redstone ore. And actually, before I introduce that into my ore processing system, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some flux duct, because right now, if we take a look, the only way that I'm actually using the destabilized redstone is for my magma crucible fluid transposer system, which it can only make the buckets of destabilized redstone, which I don't really use for anything whatsoever, and then the redstone energy flux duct, which I do use in making the cryostabilized flux duct. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a bunch of that before I essentially run myself out of the destabilized redstone ore. So 2,000 should be enough. If I ever need more of this, I can do something about that in the future. It won't be too big of a problem, but for right now, 2,000 should be more than enough to last me quite a while. So what my plan is I'm going to first off add destabilized redstone ore to my export buses over here, so that is dumped into the system to be pulverized. So we can do that in several locations. Let's do it on this export bus as well as, say, this export bus. Now what I also want to do is I want to grab some redstone ore, if I can find some, just some regular redstone ore. Apparently I'm not going to find any here, but if I look at the gold, actually let's check the buses first. So I should have redstone ore in there, but let's find some gold ore and some redstone ore as well. Okay, so here's some gold. And actually, I don't think I need to do this for the Ender IO filters. See if we can find some regular redstone ore just in case. Okay, actually, if I were to just look in a bunch of these pulverizers, I'm sure I could find some redstone ore. But actually, let's try to do this without actually having it physically with me. So what I did right there is I shift right clicked, and then I need to whitelist destabilized redstone ore, gold ore, and let's try to do redstone ore. I think I can use this method right here. Yes, I can. Cool. So I have these 40 filters. They are configured to whitelist the redstone ores and the gold ore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here, and I'm using item conduit down here. What I'm going to do in the first 40 pulverizers, which would be like this line right here, and then there will be another line right here, I'm going to add these filters into the insert. So I'm just going to, not that one, but this one right here. And no, it was right the first time. So this should only allow the redstone ores to come in here now after this lapis runs out. So what I'm going to do is for the 40 pulverizers in this line and then this line right here, I'm going to add these filters to the insert. And I can do that off camera because that's going to take quite a while. And once I have all of those filters placed, I will be right back. Okay, so now that I have all of the filters placed, and we can actually check that they're functioning by just checking on all of these pulverizers, as we see there's destabilized redstone ore or gold ore or redstone ore in all of these pulverizers in these first two rows. The next thing I have to do is I actually have to change the augments. Now these have the auxiliary reception coil augments currently in them, but they need to have these secondary auxiliary receive augments, and that's the whole purpose for me whitelisting these 40 pulverizers to only the destabilized redstone ore and the redstone ore and the gold ore, is so that I can specifically direct all of that to those 40 pulverizers which are better suited to processing them into their core component and then cinnabar, because obviously I'm after that cinnabar and I kind of need as much of it as I can get. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and swap all of those augments out, and this is going to take a while also, so I'm going to go ahead and do this off camera as well. And once I have all of those augments swapped out, I will be right back. So I now have all of the augments swapped out, and what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take note of how much cinnabar I have. Right now I have about 120,000 of the straight cinnabar and then 563,000 of the cinnabar ore. Hopefully by the end of the episode the amounts of the, especially the cinnabar, has increased a decent amount. But for now, let's move on to the next project I have in store for today, which is working on my iron ore processing facility. And that's because if we look right here where I should be making these energetic alloy grinding balls, I don't actually have any energetic alloy. That's because I'm using all of it. So what I need to do is I actually need to expand this operation because I'm not making enough of the energetic alloy currently. I need to make more of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to kind of just move it. I'm going to move it back here, but instead of employing one alloy smelter, I'm going to do 4. And how I'm going to do this is I'm going to use an ME interface rather than an import bus. So actually what I can go ahead and do, I can go ahead and rip all of this out. So let's rip that out and this out as well. I will need the crafter, so I need the crafter to be right here. And I need a little information from down here. I need to know what colors I'm using. So I'm using N on green for these guys. And actually, is that the only, that's the only thing. So I need N on green. I need to remember that. So that shouldn't be too difficult. I won't need those anymore. What I will need is I will need gold ingots. I will need glowstone. And I will need redstone, because that is how you make energetic alloy. And I also need some stone. Let's grab a whole bunch. Actually, let's just grab a whole stack and then some facades as well, because I will need those to clean things up. So right now, let's cover this back up. And facade this up. And I need to get power and my ME conduit over here. So let's dig a little bit. Actually, you know what? Let's dig that way. This isn't going to be the cleanest routing in the world, but whatever, it's underground. Okay, so where? Oh, I have it above. Okay, so let's take a look in here. Okay, so I can just run it down and around. Okay, that'll work just fine. Made a little bit of a mess over there, but that's okay. So if we look right here, I should have ME conduits, which I can tap into. And I actually need to grab some ME conduits, because apparently I don't have any with me. ME conduit. And let's go ahead and reorganize things real fast because I need to run both these conduits. And I will be needing to use the item conduit. Actually, let's grab that right now. And let's set up the IO for these, for the alloy smelter. So everything's going to be coming in through the bottom here. So I need to do in and out on all of these machines on the bottom. And then I need to be careful with my item conduits, how I set that up. Oh, shoot. Okay, there we go. And then that's still the recipe I will be using down here. Actually, let's do a little digging here as well. This I do know will need to be out on green. Let's do insert on brown. And then on these guys, I can do insert on blue and out on brown. So insert on blue, out on brown. Insert blue, out on brown. Insert on blue, out on brown, and then this will need to be in or out on blue. Okay, so how we're going to set this up is I'm going to have this ME interface keep a stack of gold, a stack of glowstone, and a stack of redstone. I should probably also grab some speed upgrades so that I can get all of that out quite quickly. 15 is the max you can use, so I have a bunch of these things. I might as well just use 15. So let's throw those in right there, and then let's run some power if I can reach all the way back over there. Looks like I did. Cool. And then we can just run the power like that. I do need to pop capacitors in these machines, which I have right here. So now that those are powered and they are receiving power, so that's good. I also want to set these to alloys only, just in case here any funny business tries to happen. And then I will need to set up the ME conduit, and then the item conduit's already pretty much set up for the most part. Okay, so this might take a second to hook up to the applied energetic system, but that's not a problem at all. Now the next thing I need to do is I actually need to get that item conduit over here. So let's do a little digging with this guy. And actually we can use the 1x2 version. That'll work well. So we can just run this way. And there we go. We have access to the item conduit. Let's put this back to single mode. And then we can run the item conduit so that we can get the grinding balls over here via this item conduit. There we go. So this isn't quite ready yet, but let's pop these in here. They should be extracted quite quickly unless I mess something up. Looks like it's working. So there we go. Okay, it looks like they're all working. Fantastic. That's exactly what we want to see. The energetic alloy should come over here. It should be crafted into grinding balls, and then it should be extracted, which actually I should grab more speed upgrades for this as well. And then we can just pop these speed upgrades in here, and boom. I should have more than enough grinding balls for all of this now. So that's cool. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to clean all of this up off camera, and once I have all of that done, I will be right back. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this system. Everything seems to be working well, and everything is cleaned up. The last thing on the docket for today is I would like to build a system to automatically make Prismarine shards. Now, Prismarine shards can be found in the wild, but there's no super easy way to make them other than using the atomic reconstructor. Now, this is very energy intensive, and I've done this manually up till now. Just basically you hit nether quartz with a pulse of a lot of energy, and then it becomes a prismarine shard. So I have a way I can automate this. So the first thing I need to do is I need to make a pattern, and that would be one prismarine shard is made by one nether quartz, and that's going to be the pattern here. And then we need to do some things to actually make this happen. So first off, I need to grab an atomic reconstructor, and I have one right here. I'm going to need some energy conduits. And I'm kind of thinking about using cryostabilized flux duct, but I don't super think I need that. Yeah, let's grab... I might need some redstone torches. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to need these or not, but let's go ahead and grab them anyways. I do know that I will need a pressure plate to make this happen, so let's grab a pressure plate, and I need it to be the gold version, the light version here, and that's because I need it to detect fallen items on it. And then let's see here, I believe I'm going to need a automatic precision dropper. Yeah, let's go with this. So let me make sure I don't actually have that already automated. It does not appear that I do. So actually I need a gold coil first. That's not a problem. I didn't think it was a problem. Hopefully it's not a problem. Let's dump that in there, and then let's try to make this thing. Cool. There we go. I'm going to need a comparator, I think, and then an ME interface, because obviously I'm interfacing with my applied energetic system to make this automatic, and I probably will need some ME conduit as well. So let's grab that, and I'm gonna need more than just 8. So let's just tell my system to make a bunch of it. There we go. And let me think, is there anything else I super need? Not that I can think of right now. I'm sure, you know what, I will need some just plain staring redstone, I think, and maybe a couple of relays and some structural duct as well. Let's try that. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to need all of that, but where I'm going to build this is in the basement of this building right here. It's pretty much uninhabited right now, so I might as well make use of this space. Up here I do have some conduit. I should have energy and stuff up there. Let's go ahead. Oh, there's one more thing I need, and I just thought I need some sort of vacuum mechanism. In the past I've used a vacuumulator from the mod thermal expansion, and that works great in certain cases, but I actually need to whitelist certain things. So let me think here. There is a vacuum chest from Ender.io, and I should be able to use this. The thing is, with this vacuum chest, I can put a filter in, so I can filter what it will actually vacuum, which is actually something I need here, because I need the vacuum chest to not pick up the nether quartz, but to pick up only the prismarine shards. And that's how I'm going to build the system. So let's grab a vacuum chest. Should be able to do that now. And once I have that, then I may very well have everything I need to complete this system. So let's grab a vacuum chest. There we go. Come on. I bet the holdup was the vibrant alloy. Okay, so let's just pick a spot for this. Let's do it on the front, actually. So let's put it, I'm actually going to put it in the ground just to make things just a little bit easier here. And to make things neater, I want to get rid of that. So let's put this here. It is operated by a redstone signal. I will have a mechanism for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grab stone, put it here, and then on top of that I will have this golden plate. Oh, I didn't actually grab a dropper, I don't think. So I need an automatic precision dropper. Where this differs from the regular dropper is it will always drop your item in the middle of the block space in front, or where it's facing. So actually I need to turn this to I don't know if I need to do pulse mode, or I could probably get away with not doing pulse mode. And I'm torn. So actually, I do want to grab a kind of conduit I don't know that I've made yet. So yeah, I want to grab some redstone conduit because that'll give me some additional functionality here. So let's see if I can't look this up real fast. So the not energy conduit, but redstone conduit. I will need this redstone alloy. How do I make this? So redstone and silicon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this manually just to save some time. In the future, I might automate this, but there's actually a chance I won't because obviously I'm not using a whole lot of this alloy at this point. There's a pretty good chance I won't be needing a whole lot of this alloy anytime soon. I'll just need a little for today's episode. So that should get me some of the alloy, and then let's see here, conduits. There we go. And I believe that this conduit has comparator functionality, and actually the relays might have that as well. Now that I think of that, I think the relays have that functionality as well. Oh well. I might have just made that for nothing. So what I'm going to do, and let's actually see if it does. And actually, I want to do a little digging. Let's turn this to 3x3 mode and dig down here a little bit, because I will need a little space here. Let's see if this relay does have comparator functionality. It does. So if I put an item in here, okay, so that's on deactivation mode. I actually need to switch that. And I actually made yeah, that by chance. Didn't mean to. Okay, so let's put that in there. This should be giving out a pulse, and it is. Fantastic. So actually, I just need to kind of recycle that pulse back into the precision dropper itself to make it drop. And actually, I need this to like cycle. So it might not be that easy. I might need to do... I can't just recycle the circuit, I don't think. I need to have some sort of clock, I think. So do I have a comparator with me? I thought I did. I do. So actually, I need to turn that let's actually turn it this way. And then let's tear this out as well. I have so much garbage with me, it's annoying. Okay, so I might need the redstone. Let's keep that. Okay, so what I want to do is put this here. It needs to be output. It is scaled, so it's not... And we can actually do several things with this, but I do want it to be scaled. I want it to be 1 only. Let's do this. So the power's only 1. And that's exactly what I want to see. Because what I want to do now is I want to get a repeater. And actually, let's just grab a bunch of them because I might need more than one. And I want to set this repeater to be into here, and we want the maximum delay. Actually, let's grab some relays. I should need 3. And then let's set up the structural duct here. Okay, so what we're going to have happen is this will be input, this will be output, so it should tick like that, and then this up here will also be an output, so it should drop all of its stuff, and once it does, the redstone clock should stop. And let's see, it has stopped, so that's good. Cool. So let me actually, you know, I'm not going to cover that up quite yet. Now that we have that part of it done, we need... Actually, you know what? We might be able to use this secondary pulse here to actually shoot the laser as well. And then I wouldn't even need the pressure plate. Because I'm worried. Hang on, there's a way to set this up, and I've done this before, and it's bothering me that I can't remember how I did this before. Because I definitely used a pressure plate. And okay, so actually what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to clean this up real fast, and then I'm going to try to remember how I've set this up in the past, because there is some way that I can use this way to pressure plate to give signals to this thing, to the atomic reconstructor. And I can't quite remember how I've set that up in the past, so I'm going to work on that, and once I have everything figured out, I will be right back. Okay, so I think I have this figured out. What I actually need to do is I need to move a few things. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move my atomic reconstructor away from the pressure plate, because I'm not actually using the pressure plate itself to get the redstone signal to the atomic reconstructor. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send a redstone signal from the pressure plate, which will be still in the same block space. And actually, it's going to be on top of the vacuum. So I'm going to go ahead and put the vacuum down. We can put the item filter in right here. And let's lower the range to 2. I'm going to go ahead and whitelist the Prismarine shards. And actually, I don't even need to do that. I keep forgetting that I don't need to do that. So we can just whitelist the Prismarine shards, and that'll be fantastic. And then the pressure plate can go directly on top of that. Right here, what I have set up is an N for a different color. This is red right here. This will be N for green. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a separate redstone clock for this. So basically, anytime there's an item up here, and actually I need to demonstrate that this actually works. So as we see, there's no signal right now. If I go ahead and put something on top of this pressure plate here, it will receive a signal, so that does work. This is getting signal from the pressure plate. And basically what I need, as long as there's some sort of signal, I need to get a redstone signal over to the atomic reconstructor, and I can do that via redstone clock. So I just need to set up another clock here. So let's go ahead and do output on green. I need another comparator. And this can be right here. And I do want to set this up with a slightly longer delay. I just need to send this up, so we just need to do, whoops, wrong thing. This will be in on red, because this is a separate circuit. I can use red again. And then this will be out on red. This will be out on red. And then what we can do is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. Oh, I put those backwards. Those need to be facing this way. Otherwise, this won't work. And then just redstone in the corner here, and that should work. So what happens is if we get redstone up here, it'll laser it. If there's as long as there's an item still on it, it'll just keep lasering over and over again according to this clock. So that's cool. So actually, let's make sure that this will work. So let me grab some nether quartz. And actually, this will work better if I fill everything in. So let's go ahead and actually do that so that the items can't like escape. So let's get some nether quartz. Let's get a stack of it. And there is nowhere for this nether quartz to go other than this little trench which gets hit by the laser. So let's throw that in there. And the Prismarine shards should get sucked into the vacuum here. Oh, and what's happening right now is I have no power for the atomic reconstructor, which I can work on right now. So let's actually get to it. This should be pretty easy. I can tap from, say, right here. Let's do output. Let's grab some conduit here. Do I seriously not have any? I thought, oh, duh, it's right here. I'm a moron. It's okay. And then I can just simply run this conduit down here. Okay, so now I actually need a way of getting the stuff into the dropper here. So what I'm going to use is an ME interface, and I am going to put this right here, and yeah, I can just dig this out. This isn't the cleanest solution in the world, and when I come down here it won't look great, but whatever, it doesn't matter. And then I can just run this up to here. And as we see, the laser did stop now that there's no items there, so that's fantastic. Everything looks like it is working. So we should just be able to drop this down, and then our pattern can go in here, and then I can go ahead and clean this up. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and clean this up off camera, and once I have that done, I can go ahead and test this thing and make sure it works, and then go ahead and wrap up the episode. So after I have this cleaned up, I will be right back. Okay, so I had two slight problems with my system. First off, I had no way of getting the Prismarine shards out of the vacuum chest and into the ME system, but that's pretty simple fix. I just need some item conduits, and I can just run it like so. We just need to insert and extract from over here, and that should be good. The Prismarine shards are moving, so that's one problem fixed. The other problem is that when my precision dropper is actually full of items, my Redstone Comparator, which was right here, it would receive a completely full 15th signal, and that means when I tried to loop around with the comparator to essentially get a clock going, it wouldn't work because you cannot get any number bigger than 15 as far as redstone signals. So what I actually need to do is I need to move this comparator back to right there, and I need to run some just plain Jane redstone. And so that even when I get a full signal, well, that's not going to work super well either, is it? Because what's going to happen is that when the dropper is almost empty, but not quite full, it will not cycle if I have it set up like that. So actually, how do I have this set up? So I need to do something to where when it's almost empty, it needs to work, but it also needs to work when it's completely full. And right now, each system that I have in mind is mutually exclusive. It works under one condition, but it doesn't work under the other. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and think about this, because I know I can come up with something. And once I have something in mind, I will be right back. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I have a solution here, which is I need to use the comparator, but I need to use subtract mode. And if I do that, this should work just fine. And then I can run regular redstone around, have this repeater here set to a 4 tick. Actually, let's do a fewer tick delay. Let's do that. And then this will be still set up to input. That'll still be output. Let's go ahead and test this system out. So let's go ahead and tell the system to make a bunch of the Prismarine shards. Let's go ahead and tell it to make 1,000. That should be a good high number. So that is obviously throwing in a bunch of nether quartz in there. And cool. So this thing doesn't seem to be dropping items very fast, but it is working. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it does seem to be able to get the job done. Let's make sure it's going to run once it's full. It looks like it's still working. Let's make sure that the redstone down here is working. It looks good. So yeah, I think this is a pretty completed build, so that makes me happy. I can automatically make Prismarine shards now. So in today's episode, I set up this system to automatically make Prismarine shards. I set up my ore processing over here so that I can make more cinnabar in my pulverizers, and let's go ahead and check on these guys. On that note, let's check on how much cinnabar I have. And not the craft. Yeah, I had 120,000 cinnabar coming into the episode. I now have 189,000. That's fantastic. I knew I would have a considerable increase just from the destabilized redstone ore itself. Even if I were to throw it into the regular pulverizers, I'd still see a nice healthy uptick of cinnabar from that. And then I also set up this system over here to automatically make energetic alloy, and already I have a decent backlog of that over here, so that's fantastic, and that seems to be keeping up just fine. as of right now, I have 71 million iron ingots, which is pretty fantastic. Right now, my rate is somewhere between, I think, 10 and 11 million iron ingots per day. So yeah, that's a pretty nice hefty rate to be on right now. So I'm approaching the 100 million mark, which is pretty exciting. Still pretty far away from 1 billion iron ingots, but we're getting there. Slowly but surely. Anyways, if you enjoyed today's episode, definitely give it a like. If you enjoy watching automation and modern Minecraft, definitely consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, because that's pretty much what I do. Anyways, signing off, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.